Hey guys, today we are about to learn something new. Before that, let's review the words we learned before. So we learned how to say I in Chinese. So how to say I or me, they're the same. So I or me in Chinese, we say 我, 我, yes. Since we already learned this word, so I'm not going to type pinyin, just a Chinese character. So I or me in Chinese is 我, 我. And we also learned how to say is, right? How to say is. Or am, or are. Is, am, are, was, and the word. So they are in Chinese, all of this means just one word. 是, 是, 是. Last tone, 是. So we learned about this one already, right? So 是. And how to say I am? So you will say 我是, 我是. All right. So today we are about to learn how to say have. Have. So how to say have in Chinese? In Chinese, we say 有, 有. And listen carefully. What do you think about the tone? Which tone should I put? The first tone, second one, the third one, or the last one? So which one? 有, 有. Right. It's the third tone. 有, 有. All right. So do you remember that I told you in Chinese we do not have conjugation? What does that mean? Which means in English you will say I like, and then what? Gonna say how about he? He likes. You need to put the s there, right? And how about she? You also need to say she likes. But in Chinese, we do not need to change the verb. We just put more words inside the sentence. All right? So have is 有. And so how to say has? What do you think? How to say has in Chinese? Yes. So have or has in Chinese, they all means 有. How about have? It's the same thing. All right. So have, has, had. In Chinese, we say 有, 一. This is say 一 in Chinese, and OU say O, so EO. And the third tone, 有, 有. So now let's make the sentence. How to say I have. 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 Right. That will be 我有,我有,我有. All right. So we have learned how to say numbers, right? 1 to 10. How to say numbers 1 to 10. So let's say 5. How to say 5? Right. 5 is 五. Right. So let's change this one. So how to say I have? Let's make one example. Let's make one example. So how to say I have 5 good friends? I have 5 good friends. How to say this one? So we learned how to say I is 我 have is 有. So I have will be 我有. So I'm about to type 我有. And 5, we learned 5 is 我. And how to say good friends? How to say good? Good, we learned that. Remember 你好, 你好. So we learned 你好. And this 好 in Chinese means good. This 好 in Chinese means good. So now let's write down. 好 in Chinese means good. In English, that means good. 好 good. Okay, 拼 好. Which tone do you think that should be? Third. 好, yes. So 好, that means good. And how do you say friends? How to say friends? Friends in Chinese, we say 朋友. So what do you think about the tone? 朋, which tone? 朋, second one. Yes. How about the 有, 朋友. Which one? 朋友. You. Sometimes, you just say without the tone, 朋友. The second one, you just make it a silence, 朋友. Okay, that means friend. So now I will give you 1 minute. Try to think how to make the sentence. I have 5 good friends. Think about that. Good means. Oh, all right. So I have 5 good friends will be 我有5. Then what? How to say good? 好. And how to say friends? 朋友. I know there is S is plural here, but you don't need to think about that in Chinese because we do not have conjugation, so you don't need to worry about that, okay? And I have 5 good friends. 我有5好朋友. Remember, in Chinese, when you are counting how many items, how many people, how many things, you need to put one measure word, a measure word. So here, for good friends, we have a measure word. Okay, I'm gonna type it here. Measure word, the measure word. So we need to put this one inside. 个. This in Chinese is called 个. So what do you think? Which tone should it be? 个. 个. Emphasize 个. The last one, right? So it will be 个. This doesn't mean anything. 个. Individually, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's you just need to put this measure word 个 inside the sentence. Okay, so where should you put this 个? Remember the rule. The rule for 个 is use after numbers. So numbers plus个. That's how we use it. Numbers plus 个, which means you need to put this one after numbers. So let's go back to the sentence. I have 5 good friends. How to say that in Chinese? 我有5. Remember, you need to put this one inside. So which one? Sorry, where should you put it inside? Yes, after the numbers. So you're gonna put it here. So I have 5 good friends will be 我有5个好朋友. 我有5个好朋友。Very good. Very good. Okay, let's learn one more word. So, how to say cats? Let's say how to say cats. How to say cats in Chinese. If you don't know, it's this one. Mao, Mao. So what do you think about the tone? Which one? Mao. Yes, the first tone. Mao, that means cats. So how to say one cat? How to say one cat? One cat. Oh, probably you will say one. How to say one? That's E. And how to say cat? It's 猫, 一猫. Remember, we need to use the measure word to count how many things, how many items. So for 猫, we learned only one measure word. It's 个. So you will say 一个猫, but no. In Chinese, we have different measure word for different items. So for 猫, we are going to use 只. This one is called 只. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. I know. 只, the first tone. So you just need to remember, okay? Whenever I teach you something, the nouns, okay? You just need to remember the measure word. That's fine. All right. So for the cat, you're gonna say 一只猫,一只猫,只. Okay. That will be for this part. So let's review everything we learned so far. We learned how to say have and has. How to say have has? It's a 有. It's a 有, right? Okay, let me put a number. First one we learned is 有. Oh, it cannot be. All right. So first one is 有, and we also learned which one? Next one, the sentence, right? I have 5 good friends, and good and friends and the measure word. And you need to remember the position of the measure word. Where should you put it? Numbers after numbers, right? All right. Now, let's try to make one example, make one sentence by yourself, okay? Let's complete the sentences in Chinese. And you need to look at the picture. Number 1, look at the picture. And tell me, number 1, how many good friends do you have? Answer me in Chinese. Think about that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So how to say the sentence? I have 4 good friends. How to say it? If you cannot say it, you can write in English first. I have, and then what? 4. And then what? Good friends. Good friends. Not girlfriend, it's good friends. So 我有4. Remember, you need to put 个 inside. So 我有4个. How to say good? 好 and friend. 朋友. So 我有4个好朋友. Very good. So now can you try to do number 2 by yourself? You can pause the video and think about that, okay? If you think it's too fast. So 1, 2, 3, 3个好朋友。1, 2, 3. 我 the sentence should be I have 3 good friends, right? 我有3个好朋友。All right, very good. If you don't understand, you can always pause the video and learn on your own.
我有10个好朋友。
That's just the example. I have 10 good friends. Okay, we already made this one. So remember we learned the finals before, and now we're about to learn initials. Initials. So letter B in Chinese we say 波 波. Okay, let's listen.
波
波. Okay. Remember we learned the letter A in Chinese. How to say A in Chinese? So how to make it together? 波 and then first tone. So that will be 八 ba. How about the second tone? 把 ba. And how about third tone? 把把 And how about the last tone? 把 Okay, let's listen.
八啊啊啊
Okay. And the letter P. Remember in Chinese we say 坡 坡. So this is a 波, this is a 坡 坡. And we learned letter O last time. Letter O say 喔. So make it together. 坡 喔, and the first tone 坡, right? 坡 喔 坡. Okay. Second tone 坡. Third tone 坡. Last tone 坡. Okay, listen. Sorry, sometimes it will be like this. Right. You just need to listen to this one more time. 坡喔坡
波火火火
坡. Okay, next one. Letter M. Letter M in Chinese we say more. We say more.
摸
Do you remember we learned the letter I? Letter I in Chinese we say E. E. So how to say this one? More. E and the first tone. Me. Me. Okay, and second tone. Me. Third tone. Me. Last tone. Me. Okay, let's listen.
咪咪
Me. Me. All right. And the next one. Letter F in Chinese we say for. Okay. Do you remember we learned the letter U in Chinese say u. Okay. So letter F we say for. And this one is u we learned before. So together for the first tone. Fu. Second one. Fu. Third one. Fu. Last one. Fu. Okay, so 波摸 摸 all right, and they are initials. All right, let's learn next one. This one. letter D in Chinese, we will say the. Sorry about this. So, letter D is the. Okay. And now we learned about letter E. How to say E in Chinese? That will be right? So how to make it together? The, right? So second one, the, and the third one, and how about the last one? The last tone, that will be the. So the, the. Next one, remember we learned the I in Chinese, we say E, and this one we say So how to make it together? E, the first one, first tone. T. How about the second tone? T. And how about the third? T. And how about the last one? T. All right. T. When you are when you don't know how to pronounce the tone, always you can think about the tones. Remember we learned at the beginning, the car, you're driving the car, you're going from the top to the bottom, you know, think about that picture. It will help you. So first tone, T, second, T. All right, so let's try to review how to say this one. 波
波 坡 摸 波
more, for. This one is the. This one is to. Okay, last one, last two.
呢
This one we say no. Okay, remember we learned the letter U in Chinese, we say u, so that will be no, u, and the first tone, nu. So no, u, nu, okay. Second tone, nu, and the third tone, nu, and the last tone, nu. All right, so this is no, the initial no. All right, the last one.
了
The last one is a l. All right. So remember we learned this letter U with two dots on. That's we will say yu. So this one we say yu with a l as initial. How to make it together? L, yu, lu. One more time. L, yu, lu. And how to say the second tone? Lu, and the third tone? Lu, and the last tone? Lu. Okay, one more time. 波 摸 for 的 呢 了. All right. If you don't understand, you can pause anytime, pause the video, all right, and learn on your own pace. That will be all for this lesson. I hope you learned and enjoyed it, all right? And next time we will learn the numbers from 11 to 99.